Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Eel Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Mike. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Gen V, and we'll be ending with a character spotlight from me, Halloween themed specifically.
Oh, okay.
I thought it'd be better that way, especially
Yeah.
since this will be the only or the last spotlight I have before the holiday, before Halloween.
Yeah. I just looked at the calendar to see if you were had one more before Halloween,
I
but
I I have like after like literally right after Halloween, so I
it's
was
the
like, there's
next.
no point in doing it then.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Gen V. A lot of things happened in this episode that, although knew, I was still surprised by.
All right, let me backtrack real quick because you said that a lot of things happened that you knew were going to happen. There's no way that you were expecting Sam to get a butt buddy following him around the entire episode. So I want to cut
I
you
said
off.
no, no. I said a lot of things I knew. I said a lot of things. I did not say everything. I was very specific at choosing my words appropriately this time because I can promise you that thing was not what I was prepared for at all. And I am still trying to figure out who had the superpower to be able to do it. Was it the guy holding him there or was it the guy hiding him there? And isn't that a question we all want to know? We're
So I'm gonna
assuming it's the guy holding him.
I'm gonna assume it's the guy holding him because the guy that was coming out said his power is to make his feet into hands. So I don't think he has the
That
power
is true.
to go.
That is very true.
so
I
so
forgot about
that was
I forgot about
answered.
that. It was actually answered at the very end of the episode. That's right. Oh, that ending messed with me too. But anyway, we'll get to the ending. We have to get through a lot before we get to the ending. Um, yeah. So apparently Sam is a part of the fraternity, which we did know already. That's not a shock to anybody.
Yeah.
But the idea was everyone found out that Marie left, right? And apparently, Edgar doesn't seem to care, which is I think kind of funny to me.
Well, we
We only
don't.
saw his reaction.
Well, no, yeah, we didn't see his reaction. The group found out, and then it was like, "Hey, we need to ask your grandfather if we can use his car," and then that was it. So we don't really know if he cared or not. I'm assuming no because of the fact that Godolkin is he went like I said last episode is that once he found out Godolkin was alive, he just didn't care about them at all.
Yeah, which also gets me more worried because of what we saw with Godok.
Yep.
Um, but anyway, so the funny thing is, Marie teams up with her and Kate and give me a second, Polaris,
Hmm.
and she heals Polaris.
Yep. No more seizures.
Well, no more tremors right now, specifically. So the idea was, no, no, I'm being very specific only because the seizures came out of nowhere, so he never could feel them, but he could always feel the tremors.
Hmm.
And so this was the first time in a long time he's not felt the tremors, and was like, oh my gosh, I'm healed.
Yep. He has actually full control of his abilities now.
We are for the
We're
moment, yes.
we're assuming because of the fact
No,
that
correct. So like the damage has been healed for sure, but that doesn't mean his powers still aren't going to cause them again later.
yeah.
But you're right. I also wonder too, now that he has a better idea of how his powers work, he might be able to do so without causing damage to his brain fully.
Yeah, I mean that's something
Especially facing somebody like Cypher, who is not real. Um,
which we kind of knew. I mean,
no, that was the one thing we knew, but I wasn't expecting it to be revealed the way it was. I'll say that for sure.
it's it's funny because that reveal screamed.
Should not have been a surprise.
No, it wasn't a surprise. It made me think of MCU. It made me think of the Mandarin reveal where Tony Stark shows up to kill the Mandarin and he's like, "I'm just Ben." Like, why are you gonna kill him? Like, literally, I'm just instantly, yeah, same vibes. Except, I mean, Ben wasn't as terrified, understandably, but
No, he was on a lot of narcotics for sure.
oh, that's for sure.
And he talked about that heavily. Um, So yeah, we have so anyway, Polaris is freed mentally, and then he tells Marie to fix Kate, and she's like, "Hell no."
Hmm. She does not trust her uh to restore her powers, which I get. I understand that. And I think the problem is like Kate understands what she did wrong. So I do feel bad for her.
Well, I also have to agree with Marie where it
I do.
feels like I feel like also like she wouldn't be begging like she's trying so hard to be friends with them, but she also now can't force them to stay.
Mm,
So it's like it's one of those things where it's like if her power was anything else, we wouldn't be having this conversation, obviously. But like her power is quite literally manipulation.
yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Um, and so anyway, so the group gets to God you. Um, it's Annabeth and Jordan in the car, and Sam does the jumpy jumps. Um,
Really?
Mike, it doesn't deserve a nicer name than that. I can tell you that right now. Also, how many jumps do you think it took him to get there?
Makes them seem like it wasn't that many.
It makes it seem like it was only like one or two, based on how
Really?
she was
Right.
like, "I was freezing up there."
Yeah.
Um, he had oh my gosh, Emma in his pocket.
Yes.
Um, and so obviously she gets back to normal size. Blah blah blah. We meet what's his name again? I can't think of his name now. Is it Eric? No, the boyfriend, not boyfriend.
I completely forget. I'll be perfectly honest.
We do know his power though. It's flying. So I
Yes.
was correct. Well, sorry.
I am wondering if he has a little bit of like super strength as well.
Well, I believe, and do not quote me on this. I think everyone who gets the V gets slight increase in durability and strength, but like obviously more people like depending on your power, like the scale is greater at other
Yeah.
areas.
The reason why I was saying that was because in the fight that he was in with Polaris and Jordan,
Well, he was getting
he
smacked around.
yeah, he was getting thrown around and taking a lot of abuse. So I'm wondering if he has strength and endurance with as well.
I mean,
Um,
yes. I'm gonna say he's got to some degree. I don't think it's obviously at the level of the rest of the heroes that we deal with, but I think
yeah,
he's
I'm not going to put him on the same level as Homelander, obviously, but
no,
I
no, no.
mean,
Obviously, no. Sam would be considered like the closest thing to Homelander, minus Marie, obviously, because Marie is not physical strength.
yeah,
Sam, the reason why he's weaker is because he lacks the experience,
yep, yep.
and he's also got severe mental health problems. So anyway, the group meets up with Marie, who she did not want them there. Annabeth sees Marie's death, supposedly.
Which we found out that she had her powers way before Marie did, or before Marie.
Okay.
I can't say way before, but she had it before because
Well,
she.
the thought process was she had it way before, but she didn't understand it until later. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
So like because she had talked about the nightmares and everything else when she was a kid.
Yep.
So like I do believe that it was probably way before Marie, but she just thought they were nightmares until she grew up and realized, oh, these are actually happening.
I mean, I think it kind of clicked when Marie killed her parents.
No, no, and then she did make that kind of clear. Like that was the
Yeah,
moment when she realized she was
and
able
would
to see the future. Because I would argue that she even called herself a soup at that point.
oh yeah. Um, I think it's interesting that I that when Annabeth told Marie what happened and how she could have prevented her parents' death if she said something, um, Marie didn't get angry. She was supportive of her, and so I'm sorry that you've had to deal with that all your life. That could have been an easy opportunity to turn around and get mad at her and whatever, but
I also think that pays tribute to Marie's growth. You know what I'm saying? Like Marie's growth as like a person from all this. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, I'm listening.
I'm
I'm-
sorry, you gave me like a weird look. Don't listen to me again. So no, so the whole
I mean,
idea
yeah,
was
it's obvious. I'm no, no.
it
I'm
was
just
it
saying,
was
like
a massive
it's
no, it was like massive growth for her where
yeah,
she is pissed. She was mad at her parents. She is mad at her parents, but that doesn't mean she doesn't love them necessarily fully. But the idea is in her mind, it's easy. It's kind of like the weirdest thing because I definitely talked about this. I don't think you did, weirdly enough, but like Annabeth blames Marie because Marie's alive, so she can blame her. She's not
yeah,
going to blame the dead.
yeah, yeah. We
Where
talked about this. Yeah.
Marie, it's easier for her to blame the dead than it is to blame the living.
Oh yeah. No, no, no. But I mean,
And
like
it's
my
the weirdest thing because it's like they're two of the same people. Obviously, they're different because they're sisters, but you get my point where it's like, and they
yeah.
have completely different coping mechanisms.
No, but like the thing that I was saying was that if you get like big news like that, you know, you could have she could have easily turned around and blamed her sister for this. I mean, like you know,
Absolutely,
you could have
absolutely.
stopped this. How could you? You're horrible. You've been blaming me
Or
for all
just
your life.
just as simple as just saying, and all this time you blamed me when it was you
Yeah.
the whole time. Like that's all
Yeah.
she realistically. That could
So
have been as
that so
simple as
like
that.
I was like so that's what I'm getting at is that you know showing that how much of a bigger person she is being able to still be compassionate
But
and you
also
know
the hero that she is, because I think
yeah
that's the big piece of this whole thing too. Because even in the beginning of the season, Starlight's like, because I know you're a hero and you're gonna go and help.
hmm yeah also
And
true
like, although she needed a push, she did go. Like, you know what
hmm
I mean? Like, there was definitely a push needed, but like, she did eventually go.
yeah
Um, so anyway, Marie did some blood voodoo and lifted everyone up and told them to stay back or else she'd go pop. Not actually, she didn't actually say that, but it was implied. Um, and then she offered to heal Kate if she would mind wipe them to get them out of there, and Kate refused.
Kate said no
I was very impressed. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was at that moment when I realized that she actually does care a little bit
yep
more.
yep
I argue a little bit sometimes, but I think that's more the fact of like her upbringing
the
where she can't fully because of the issues that she's had in her life.
I think at the moment because of where she is right now she's trying her best to earn their trust again and by forcing them to do something that's not gaining their trust down the road if things get fully repaired and they're able to be you know buddy buddies again and not you know not I'm not going to say back to where they were but you know in a much
Because I
better
was like, were
place
they
than
ever
they're
really
at
friends? Because that's also the other awkward part too,
um
where it's like I would imagine that they would also think to their minds like, was any of it really real?
I will argue that but I think to Kate it was real
Well, no,
and
no.
it
To Kate, no, absolutely, you're absolutely correct. To Kate, it was
but
real
I
because
like so like that's the important part so like to Kate it is in fact real
yep,
to everyone else it like they're
there's a
questioning it
question. There's a question. Yep,
but it was real. There were might have been
yes.
certain situations where Kate had manipulated them, whether on purpose or not. Uh,
Or yeah, yeah. It was. Yes, I do not disagree with you. I think for me, it's just the fact of like, and we're saying the same thing, where it's like you're right. For her, it was real.
mm,
And like, but I don't think she quite realizes, and this is hard for her,
mm,
obviously,
yeah,
but like she knows she didn't use her powers for all of it.
yeah,
They don't,
yep,
and so like they question it, and she doesn't understand that they can't believe her, and it's like I can understand why they can't believe you.
yeah. But then even going, so what I was getting at is even going down the road once things are, if things get better and they can trust her, there might be situations where she does manipulate them in certain little things, but without you know. She's saying no right now because they don't trust her. Once they trust her,
It's
I'm not going to say that she's going to manipulate them like you know mind wiping them again like
no,
she
no, no.
did
She would
before, but
definitely tell them to go to safety and forget that we're here.
or
You know what I mean?
something
Like
yeah something like that
I
or
would
you
agree
know
with you. I would agree with you, definitely for sure. But we also get to see Marie having much more control of her powers at that
yeah
point.
all of a sudden they're just clicked like she has complete
Well, I think it's one of those things where, and this is kind of seen. in all comics as well, is like once you break your limit, you know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
once you could do a lot more, obviously. So like once she was able to break her limit the first time, and she now understands it a little bit more. Because I'm trying to think the two times that she used it right to heal somebody, she caused some pain to people around her. But
Hmm.
this third time she did not. It was only the specific people that she wanted,
Yep.
even though there were two people closer to her physically.
I
Polaris
know.
and Polaris and Kate were on either side of her, and neither one of them were hurt when she was lifting up the others.
Oh yes. Okay. I was thinking of
No, 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 no.
I was thinking of Godolkin.
That's a little bit different because
Because when she was using her powers to manipulate something else, like lift the goat, she was not hurting anybody else.
no, that is
So,
true. No, you're right.
but the
But when
only
she
time
used
she was
power,
hurting somebody else is when she was healing somebody.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Because she had to focus. Yes, you're right. You're right.
She
I
she
forgot.
hurt Kate when she was healing Polaris. She
Yes.
hurt everybody when she was healing her sister. When she was
Yes.
healing Godolkin, she didn't hurt Kate.
Correct.
So you were saying the same thing,
No, I'm
just in a
saying the I'm saying
different.
the, I'm saying the correct thing, but the idea was I used the wrong example.
Yes.
Um, but still,
Wait,
the
yeah.
advancements of her powers increased heavily in this episode. Obviously.
Every moment gave her more confidence and more control of her powers, which is very interesting to that extreme.
Well, I'm gonna argue against that. Like, it shouldn't be that shocking, only because for people like, for example, like Jean Grey, once she was able to realize what she could do, she then was able to do a lot more with realizing she wasn't necessarily gonna cause harm to people. I'm talking about X-Men. Sorry.
No, no, no. I understand that. I'm just curious how you're arguing against it. I don't see how that was arguing against me. So like,
No, I said I wasn't shocked by it. Like it's not anything crazy in the sense of like this is a normal thing that kind of happens in the
oh,
sense of
okay.
like
Now,
OP.
okay.
No, no, no. So I'm sorry. So it's more of like when something's
You're
so
arguing. You're
OP.
yeah. You're arguing with the fact that I'm saying it's shocking that it happened so
Yeah.
smoothly. Okay.
No, no, no. Yeah, that's what
I
I'm getting at.
okay. I
My
understand.
whole thing is it's like that's a stereotypical thing when you're like Omega level.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the boys, it's considered God level because
Hmm.
that's the level that they're using at this point.
Yep.
Um, you realize like, oh, I could do a lot more without necessarily like blowing people up.
Hmm.
Also, she hasn't cut herself in a couple episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. They didn't. I'm surprised they never. I'll be honest. I am surprised that they never
Mentioned it.
talk. Yeah. Hasn't talked about it.
I have a feeling it's going to be talked about in the last episode when she and Godolkin kind of go face to face.
I'm curious in this next episode when Godolkin and her go face to face is that it's going to now be her fault uh faltering because she now doubts herself because she made such a big mistake. Um
Well, the thought was, and obviously we're going to get into this. So Cypher stops them first, right? And then Marie goes and hunts down the faint heartbeat, which we assumed to be Godolkin, and we were correct. And she goes running down the rabbit hole to try to find him, and then Polaris just goes full on ape man and just starts throwing everything at him, and Cypher's just kind of like, haha, yeah, I'm glad to see that Marie fixed you again. Oh no, not again, but just fixed you in general. Isn't she a wonderful treat? And then he gets hit in the ribs and gets up without a problem. And then the fighting continues, and he starts just like mentally taking over everyone except for Polaris,
mhm.
and everyone was fighting each other. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Polaris was getting beat.
He was.
I, and to be fair, I get it. He did not want to hurt the kids.
Yep.
Obviously, I am not disagree. Like if he went it all out, he could have beat, like, at least knocked them all unconscious. Without, you know what I'm saying?
He could have held his own, but obviously Cypher knew what
There
he
was
was doing.
limitations. Correct.
Yeah.
No, no. Cypher was very smart with that. Um, and then the big wave of electromagnetic,
mental energy. Yeah,
well, electromagnetic pulse,
yeah.
which messed with the disturbance of his ability to hold people down. But at the same point, Marie brought Godolkin back to full health,
Yep. At that
which
very
also was
moment,
the creepiest scene. Like, I don't know why, but that just creeped me out to no end.
the skin
Uh,
healing messed with you.
and also like the eyes going back to like a natural color, like all
Yeah,
that.
that one was weird.
That one was more weird than the skin, I will agree. But like the skin, like it was all encompassing. Like the whole scene just messed with me.
Hmm.
I'm just glad we didn't have to deal with his genitalia. Thank you.
I was wondering if we were gonna see anything.
I was dead set we were, but thankfully he had a diaper on. So anyway, so he gets brought back, and Kate literally goes, "We need to get out of here now," and she's like, "Why?" And it's like, "That's Cipher," and she's like, "What?" And they're
She
like, "No,
knew.
no, no," because she could read the mind better.
Yep.
And so then we're upstairs with all the hard hitters. I was gonna say boys, but then I realized Jordan. Um,
Valid.
no, no, no. That's why I paused for a second. So I
Yep.
was like, so all the hard hitters were upstairs, and then Cypher's on the ground, and Polaris goes to stab him with the big sword with all the rings on it, um, which is a whole nother issue that I have, but we'll talk about that later. Um,
Sure, we will.
you won't.
No, you will not.
And then I just like how Cypher, who is actually, shoot, is it Doug?
David.
David.
No, 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 no. It is Doug. It is Doug.
You look that up because
I'm
I
gonna look
feel
it
like
up
that's
because
gonna be very important.
this is very
This
important.
is the most important piece of information. Like, so anyway, he goes to stab him. He's like, no, no, and he's trying so hard to speak, but his ribs are broken because the weight smashed into his rib cage.
Because of all the abuse he's taken.
Well, specifically at that moment, yes, because I don't know if he's actually taking a significant amount of damage other than the stabbing of his hand.
It is Doug. It is Doug.
That's so like, in what world would I remember that?
Doug
Um,
Bright Bill.
I definitely don't remember them saying his last name.
He did. He did say his last name. I didn't
Well,
remember it, but he did.
To be fair, all I remember is Doug, and Mike. That's a shock for us all. Let's be honest.
The fact that you remember a name and you said it correctly.
Yeah. No, all terrifying, right? Because when you said David, I was like, I don't think so. And I'm not even trying to be a jerk. I'm like, I think for once, like I got.
No,
this one.
you were correct. You know, you said it correctly. You didn't come up with some random name and call him Dogi or like
Or
Doge.
So anyway, so yeah, so they realized that he's not Cipher, and that apparently Cipher never existed because it was just Godolkin controlling him. Which again, we kind of had the feeling of.
We had talked about that. We had said that because that was why Jordan could feel the pain because Godolkin is the meat sack and the pain that he went through was just translating through.
Correct.
And as we said, it explains why he didn't really care that Doug was getting abused.
Also, we also have to talk about his power has significant range.
It very much does. It does.
So that's going to be very curious to see what happens for the rest of the group, because now I will argue that maybe because he was already in control of, Doug, that he could then just be in eye contact with anybody else, because it looks like he needs to maintain eye contact. But I wonder if that's only because he's doing it through another body.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. See,
So
I
like
was
the
I was going
original.
I was going to say no, but then in that case, technically he was because when he was killing, I'm gonna call when he was killing, Butt Buddy, he could see himself through the. That wouldn't work because you're saying he needs to maintain eye contact, but he had the eye buddy kill himself.
But he was also in his. So when you have somebody, when you have one, right?
Mhm.
You don't need to be in eye contact with him because he wasn't with Doug.
Okay, that part is fair.
So like he had nobody else under his control at that point, so he didn't have to stay there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's more of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sense. So it's like because because Doug was the first one, right?
Hmm.
He then had Doug had to maintain eye contact because Godolkin couldn't control somebody without making sure that he was able to see them only in the second body.
Yep. No, I understand what you mean now. I understand
I'm
what you mean now.
curious if that's different now because his body's healed, if
Hmm.
that's going to change his abilities anyway. But we do know like he doesn't necessarily need to maintain eye contact with one person. We know
Yeah.
that for a fact.
Yep. Yep.
However, every time we've seen him use Doug to do it, Doug has had to maintain eye contact. Well, not eye contact, but he has to be watching them.
So we assume.
That is also fair, but that's the look that we got. That's the
Hmm.
feeling we got based on how they showed it.
Yeah.
And then he talked to this boy, um, this pledge, we will say instead of butt boy, um, and he told him his powers and said that's the most ridiculous thing ever, and then got him to end his own life by wrapping the chain around his neck. And then he goes, "I can't wait to finish this." And so Godolkin's plan is that he's going to make it survival of the fittest and remove, like, basically cause a lot of damage, and only those that survive will be the elite, which is unfortunately very stereotypical of a Nazi because of
Yeah.
eugenics.
Yep. Yep.
So what are you looking up? What are you concerned about?
So I was trying to find the name of the guy's name.
It's not. It's Pledge, isn't it? It's Pledge, or is it Buckeye?
No, no, no. So so the AI turns around and goes, in Gen V Season 2, the soup known as the butt liver is named Godolkin. He is seen at a frat party drinking beer through his rectum, which is his signature gross out moment in the show. I'm like, that's wrong.
Well, that's also isn't that's the guy who has him as the Pledge, so it's not even the Pledge.
They're correct. Like that was just all three. All that was wrong.
Like, no, it was right, but it wasn't. Well, yeah, it wasn't Godolkin, obviously.
Godolkin was burnt to a crisp and dying at that point, so no.
Well, I will argue that he was not dying. He was very much alive and had been for a while.
Are you saying that he was faking it?
No, I'm saying he's lived long enough after the burns that like he's not dying, like stereotypically. Like he should have already been dead.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, like he definitely was in pain. He was suffering for sure, but like he wasn't
Well,
dying.
no, no, I think he actually was. I'll be honest. I think he actually was.
But he was also like 180 at this point.
I think. I mean, I don't think he's that old, but
You want to look that up? Actually, you're right. I think he's only probably 96 or something.
now you're going back, huh?
Because for whatever reason, I went World War II, and then I went. That's not It's not even been 100 years yet.
it,
And I went,
it's not as far back as you think it is.
but we also don't know how old he was when it happened, so that's a big
that
factor.
that like I will say like he's might be around like 100, maybe like 110, so, like Captain America.
No. Yeah,
But
I will agree to that more than my original statement.
yeah. So what were we talking about before? Now I forget.
Godolkin dying.
Oh, so when he
The fact
thought
that I remember this.
you distracted me by saying that he was older than what he was. Anyways, so when he found out that Marie had escaped and they couldn't find her, he had controlled Doug to finally put him out of his misery because he had run out of time. So I think he was in the process of dying and he needed Marie to heal him because this was it. Like if it didn't happen when it did, it was over. So that's why he was going to put him out of his misery and took the oxygen tank. It was going to bash his face in because he wanted to end it.
That is fair.
Um,
I cannot argue that. I cannot dispute that. Um, yeah. So yeah, so next episode we know is going to be a bloodbath.
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm curious at what's going to happen, like actually, because the rumor is this is going to lead into season 5 of The Boys.
Yes, yes. It's so I saw a post that said this The Boys season 5 is supposed to take place 6 months after Gen V.
Season 2.
Season 2. Yeah.
Which I think that's on par with everything. So I'm just curious to see because supposedly there's going to be when I say after credit scene, it's not going to be actually an after credit scene, but it's going to be like the Gen V story is done, and now it's the universe is like opening up a little bit more of like,
Mhm.
oh, this is what's happening in the world type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's going to be about season 5. So I'm very curious to see where that goes because obviously in the end of Gen V season 1, we see Butcher in the place, all excited.
Yep.
Um, this one, I'm very curious to see what we'll get. But we'll have to wait and see. So
Just before we move on, according to the Boys Wikipedia page, Godolkin, his body is in his late 40s, and they're guessing that his they don't know his exact age. It's a guess that it's his late 40s, and that his actual age is in his late 90s.
it makes sense because I feel like he was after Vought.
Yes. Yep.
So like Vought would be 120-ish, maybe,
Yeah,
if he was still alive. So, because Stormfront is what? Is similar, right? Isn't she like 100 and something?
I believe was because she's dead.
Yes. Well,
Yes. Well, we're assuming because they said
no,
that
no,
she
no,
died.
no, I know. That's why I was like, well, we didn't see her.
They said that she died.
No, no, I know. But how many times have people lied to Homelander? Let's be honest.
So it says Stormfront is over 100 years old, though her exact age is around late teens, early 20s when she was first infected with Compound V.
Yeah, yeah. So she'd be about
Um,
yeah.
so in the late 30s is when she got Compound V in her 20s, in her early 20s.
Yep.
So come to 2025, she would be around 120-ish. No. No, like 110-ish.
Yeah, she'd be close to 120, but not there yet.
Yeah, she'd be like 100 115-ish.
I would, yeah, that would be right. But yeah, so either way, I mean, this is it's just so good.
No, this was a good episode. Like this, aside for like the main plot of the story was exactly where we expected it to go, and they got from point A to point B.
We
The
talked
the
about
little
it.
details was like
We're so good. We're so good because it's like, although we knew what was going to happen roughly, like very roughly, obviously, we didn't have the entire plot pinned down.
yeah.
But like we knew that was Godolkin. We knew he was controlling that guy. He was pretending to be Cypher.
Hmm.
Granted, I thought that guy's name was actually Cypher. Clearly,
Agreed.
no, but
Yep.
like, but
Nope.
that's minor stuff. That's minor stuff, right? So like, my whole thing was just like so well done. But also, I'm curious too because when he controls Doug, does Doug not get older? Because Doug held Marie, and he looked exactly the same when he was holding Marie as a baby to now.
I don't know. That I don't know. Not know.
It's something that made me think about right this very second. But
Yeah.
regardless, right? We're gonna have Godolkin kill a lot of soups next episode, and
Absolutely.
it's
Yep.
gonna be the season finale.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah.
finale.
It's gonna be a
It's gonna if it's even if it's not the bloodiest, it's definitely gonna just be bloody, and it's gonna be just a mind f. Because
yeah.
Gen V has been a serious mind f the entire series, and I feel like they're not gonna disappoint in that area.
No. This one has been. This has been good with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on, unless you have something else to say, to my character spotlight.
No, everything else is kind of not really important. Sam is jealous of Emma. Although
Well, no, he's jealous of whatever
the
his name is.
the relationship.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
And very mature of him to apologize and say I have things to work through because of like that that
No,
was
that was
that
huge.
was that was
That was
massive.
that was like the biggest thing ever for me.
No,
Just
that
seeing that.
was that one was awesome to witness.
Yeah.
Um,
Mike,
but
you're gonna talk a little bit. I just have to, blow my nose, and then I'll be ready for my character spotlight.
oh, great, here we go. Yeah, no, that was a big moment. His uh being able to overcome his mental. That's an elephant in the background. No, being able to come over his mental. I don't want to say like mental breakdown and are able to accept what's going around in the world.
Yeah, which is
Um,
very nice. Okay, you ready for
I'm
this character spotlight?
I am very much ready.
All right. Do you know Midnight Suns, Michael?
Yeah. Well, I don't know them. I've heard of them.
Okay, you know the game though.
Yes,
Okay. Do you know the main villain in that game?
I do not.
Okay. Well, her name is Lilith. Lilith. Lilith.
Lilith.
Lilith.
Lilith.
Lilith. Lilith.
Sure.
Lilith. Lilith. Anyway,
I'm gonna look it up.
Lilith. I
Go
feel like
ahead.
it's actually Lilith. Has already was already old at the dawn of humanity, and her origins were lost to a hazy myth. One story tells of her beginning as a member of the heavenly host, wife to Samuel, who became Satan. Lilith, nope. Uh, Lilith. Now I'm messing it up even more. Anyway,
now you're thinking of it, and
I'm
it's
thinking of
gonna.
it's worse. So it's anyway. So she and Samuel, or more oftenly quoted Lucifer, led the rebellion against heaven, but lost and were cast down into hell along with Lucifer, Asmodeus, and Pazuzu, among many others. With Samuel as a failure, she abandoned him to seek her own future. Her origins as a heavenly host member who sided alongside Satan against heaven is the version that the Vatican stand by. According
Lilith.
Lilith. Okay. According to her own tale, Earth was once populated with women who were all passion and all men were lust, and an earth god, seemingly Yahweh, crushed the world and plucked two souls from whom he rebirthed on to recreate Earth, where passion was chained and innocence was set free. He created the man Adam and the woman Lilith.
Oh wow, they're just like yeah. Screw it.
No, I am. I am. What did you say it was? How do you say it again?
Lilith.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You said it
Lilith.
correctly. Yeah,
Inner tail
Lilith.
Lilith.
You said it correct. You said it
Oh, I
correctly.
did say it correct. But it just messes
Yep.
with me because it's like man Adam and woman Lilith, and I'm like, that threw me off. Inner tail
No,
Lilith
it does.
states that after leaving Adam, she went to the devil, seemingly Samuel, but by her own account, Mephisto, whom she conceived many children with. The devil eventually grew bored of her and cast her out to hell. Alternately, it is also alleged that Lilith's fathers were Aro and or Aramon, and it is possible that she was the cousin of Pazuzu through Era. Lilith also had Shekinah and Namaha, Lilu, um, Ardad, and Urdu as sisters. These tales contradict each other, but it's unknown whether Lilith lied about being born human or if the stories including her in the war in heaven are false. Even Thor and the Valkyries are uncertain of her true nature and origin. So basically, like, weirdly enough, this is going to sound very weird, but she's like the Joker of the universe in the sense of nobody really knows how she started.
Yeah, it's all myth.
Yeah, yeah, and she's not saying,
She's just
yeah,
like, yeah, I like this. Yeah, keep it going.
all of them are correct.
I'm everything.
Lilith seduced Adam, the first man, allegedly becoming his first wife, produced many children by him, collectively known as Mazakin. Mazakin. She found Adam's companionship oppressive in time and abandoned him. Three three angels murdered most of her children in response, and the grief stricken Lilith fled to the demon cities under the Red Sea. Bitter towards humanity for her losses, she vowed that humanity would suffer forever at the hands of her future children. Another account states that her self proclaimed angels slaughtered most of her children, causing her to vow that her line would dominate. She infiltrated humanity through its early days, sometimes appearing as a goddess, other times as a mortal or a sorcerer. A sorceress, sorry. She was active in Atlantis 20,000 years ago, opposing the original order of the Midnight Suns. She may have been a part of Varney's original sect of Darkholders, responsible for creating the first vampires, and she may have been the mother of some of the ancient ones. Specifically, sorry, ancient vampires. Sorry.
Oh.
She was imprisoned inside the corpse of a dragon-like um, Tamat or Leviathan by Atlantean mages prior to the fall of Atlantis, which occurred approximately at 18,000 BC, which she survived. It is unclear whether she was actually present on the continent when it occurred, but either way, she survived. Another account states that allegedly her remains were scattered across Earth by three angels. Um, I'm not going to say their names because no. The names of these angels do not help because they're like Sinoi, Sinoi, and Samagu, also known as Sanavi, Sansavi, and Samagalif.
All right, that just makes me think of Avatar, the not the Airbender,
No,
the
the
blue
other one. I know
people.
what you meant. I know what you meant.
That just
Des-
like that's all I'm
so
picturing right now.
exactly. Despite both those accounts, her disembodied life essence was free to wander on the earth. Therefore, it is possible many of her later actions were performed by her wandering spirit while her body remained trapped. As the gods of Atlantis were forgotten, she she secreted herself among the Mesopotamian gods known as the Anunnaki. Some sources specify that she became the one of the Lilitu, a race of female wind demons. This definitely sounds like Avatar. Of female wind demons affiliated with the Anakui, who terrorize children and women while seducing young men, um, or deteriorated into a storm demon in the desert beyond Euphrates, Euripides, um, and abducting unbaptized children and visiting men in their dreams. She's got a lot of backstories that I'm not going to lie to you, I was not prepared for.
I'm just
As
like I'm listening to you go through this, and I'm like, he definitely just picked a character and definitely didn't go over this beforehand.
well, no, what's funny is like I read some of it and then I didn't register like all of these are potential backstories and none of these are like what's happening now. But
It's an
very
actual thing. Yeah.
yeah, as centuries passed, she ruled many kingdoms directly through her lovers and through her children. She dedicated much of her time to conceiving power lines of children, including what are called the Linnu or the Dajing. Um, basically, her lovers, husbands, and/or consorts supposedly included angels, the fertility gods, the Olympian god Zeus, and possibly even the Judo-Christian god himself or themselves. Yeah, she got around. At some point, Lamanastu, she was prevented by her fellow underworld demon god, fallen angel, and hated rival Pazuzu from escaping and traveling to Earth to threaten pregnant women and newborn babies. Her enemies included many famous figures, some of which were tricked into fathering more children for her. She opposed Gilgamesh in 3000 BC. You know who that is? The Eternals.
Mhm.
And Job over 2 millennia ago. 2 millennia later, I apologize. She challenged Solomon, the banisher of demons, supposedly while disguised as her daughter, the queen of Sheba. She conceived by Solomon. Decades later, she bedeviled the prophet Elijah. Over a millennia later, she reigned in the ruins of Rome and swore death of all newborns of humanity, or so the stories say. In the 12th century in Asia, she was trapped inside of a bottle by a midwife, because why not? A century later, Joseph della Rena thought to summon the Messiah by battling her and her last consort, the demon Ashmodi, her fellow heaven cast out, with whom she spawned countless demonic offsprings. Many of them were slain by the agents of heaven, and Rena was easily defeated and transformed into a dog. In the 18th century, Rabbi Alimik challenged her and escaped unscathed. Now we're finally in modern day. In modern times, her body emerged from Tiamat, the uh, the uh, the celestial that's in the earth,
Oh,
who
okay.
had settled in northern Greenland. She murdered a group of scientists led by Dr. Philip Henderson and Dr. Adam Brigham that had come to inspect the strange creature. Wishing to learn the fate of her children and about the modern world, she began scrying. Scrying? Scrying.
Screen.
And just Scrying. Like, I automatically wanted to say crying, but there's the S in front of it.
Hmm.
Anyway, and discovered that they were mostly dead. She summoned them, but only Pilgrim answered the call. She attempted to seduce Danny Ketch in his dreams. After that, after that failed attempt failed, she asked Nightmare to attack both him and Johnny Blaze. She sent Fang after Morbius, assassins to murder Victoria Matasi, and tricked Night Stalkers into attacking Blaze and Ketch. By the way, the reason why she's doing all this is because these are all members of Midnight Suns.
Yep. Okay.
Or just to make that clear, so you know, she and her children increased their attacks as the dimensional barriers protecting Earth weakened. The Midnight Suns joined forces to oppose them. Learning of Centrius, she sought him out and formed an alliance with him. The alliance lasted until the arrival of Zarathos, who had been trapped within Centrius. Zarathos was freed and manipulated into joining her, and they conceived a child. Her children and um, Zarathos were banished to the shadow side, but she remained pregnant and awaiting the birth of her child with him. She was among those weakened by Helfrey. She witnessed Doctor Strange's gathering of the witches and produced a child to attack them. In his tour to warn the mystics of the danger, Strange passed by her to warn her that he knew she was up to something and that she would not be approached. She would not approach his proteges. Despite the warning, she and her new children attacked the girls and was destroyed by Jennifer Kale, and she later attacked Doctor Strange herself. She was later imprisoned extra-dimensionally by Farron King O'Brien in the universe where supernatural evil came from, along with other villains such as Satanish, Katarak, Umar, and Marlin.
That's
Nope,
everything. You
nope,
just
nope. Merlion,
no.
Merlion.
I was gonna say just all those complicated naming Marlin.
Nope, I said it wrong. During the Skrull invasion, Merlin was able to cause MI-13 operative Pete Wisdom to open an interdimensional nexus to release them all. They immediately sent out to conquer Britain, and their first steps being to kill all Skrulls on Avalon, then to fulfill her debt to Wisdom, all Skrulls present or arriving on Britain. Oh, the Vampire Nation. As well as Captain Fate, she soon allied herself with Dracula in his plots to conquer Britain. Why Britain she likes, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I think a lot of people did bad things to her in Britain, and she's not happy. Her participation included creating vampire bases on the moon, providing it with a shield keeping it out of the radiation, including solar rays, and the enlargement of the new Serpent's Crown, the vampire flagship. Dracula sent vampires to attack MI-13 operatives Blade and Captain Britain with the purpose of destroying Quincy Hawker's skull, which prevented the vampires from entering Britain without an invitation. And she was able to provide the magical backup to those vampires due to their brain alterations. The skull, or rather a replica, was destroyed. When the vampires finally launched their assault on Britain, she used her powers to cast a barrier isolating Britain, but was then engaged in battle by Captain Britain. Once Captain Fate died, and without his curse, the new Serpent's Crown started to break up and was held together only by her. She re engaged Captain Britain and he re-entered the ship to recover Megan, who had just been delivered to Dracula by Doctor Doom. Because why not? The vampire army started bursting into flames as they were trying to enter Britain uninvited. As Captain Britain's plot unveiled, Dracula ordered her to stop fighting and retreat, so her shields may keep protecting the few surviving vampires who retreated to the castle on the moon, but were pursued by Megan and Captain Britain, who focused on her until she repelled back to hell. Steve Rogers expected her to try to take advantage of the vampire sex Tormel following Dracula's assassination, but did not. The War in Hell. During the War in Hell, caused by the disappearance of Death, she aligned with Mephisto, waging war in Hell against other demon lords, including Satana, Pluto, and Satanish. While her children were successful against Satanish's legion, she criticized the efficiency of Mephisto's tormented generals. Basically, she was saying they suck. So let's talk about her powers. That is the end of her history so far.
Long history.
A long history, but also a lot of unknown history.
No, yeah. Well, when you live so long, you can't know everything.
So this is hilarious. So ready for her powers? Her powers have fluctuated due to her status as angel, demon, or goddess. The full extent of her powers and abilities still remain completely undetermined. So she has the physiology of a god. She has superhuman strength, lifting up to 25 tons. She has superhuman stamina, superhuman durability. She has vast knowledge of magical lore, and which of most originated with her, and the extensive occult of knowledge in general. She has energy projection. She can create force fields. She has something called the Death Force, where she can kill via an invisible force. She could just kill people with just instant death.
Just decide that you're dead, then you're gonna die.
I just like how it's described. She kills via invisible force. I'm like, that's not helpful. She has teleportation, radiation shields. She has vision conjuration, and deviation. Basically, she can conjure visions of a distance events. She has the ability to spawn creatures. Um, she can also give birth. So this is where it gets weird. She can create demons, and she can give birth to creatures. Okay, but they're all called the same thing, Lilins. Okay, Lilin. So I'm only saying it that way because I just called them her children, even though some of them were just created by magic and everything else.
Yeah, I would still say it because they always say like, "Oh, you're my child," kind of thing in that sense because it came
That's
from them.
that's that's why I called her that. So
Yeah.
she can also summon them from other dimensions, allowing them to return to Earth via rebirth through portals in her body. She can also give them gain them powers relative to the numbers of them spawning. She can also absorb the life essence of her offsprings to replenish herself and later respawn them. Excuse me. Obviously, when she was her body was trapped inside of a celestial, she had the body of a ghost. I say that because it's written in here. I don't like the way it's written, but whatever. So apparently, she has her abilities also include that she just has a wide variety of knowledge of just magic in general, and then her weakness throws me off the most because according to legends, her powers are less effective against women. So women are her weakness.
Okay. I mean, okay, yeah, I get
Well, based on
with her
everything you
lore, it
see,
makes
like she
sense.
literally,
Yeah,
like everyone she's gotten involved with has been only male,
she's
and like,
manipulated men. Yep, yep.
and it's only been men. Like
Hmm.
everyone that's kind of beat her had to have like teamed up with a woman. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, the power scale is out of 7 as it always is, right? So her intelligence is a 3 because it is oops, sorry, because it's um, learned, which is weird to think about, because I would feel like it would be higher because of it, but I think it has to do with the fact of like she's had a lot of years to gain that knowledge, so it's not like it's learned knowledge. It's not like she's a genius on her own.
Mm.
It's a weird concept. It throws me off sometimes with some of these ancient gods and stuff like that, where I would assume that their intelligence is rather high unless they're like known to be dumb. because they've just lived so long, and it's not the case. Anyway, her strength is a 4 because she's superhuman. Her speed is a 3 because it's a superhuman, but also a 7 when she teleports because obviously it's instant. Her durability and energy projection. Her durability is a 6 because it's. I mean, there's been very few things that have been able to stop her completely. Even when she's taken down, she's able to bring herself back from literal death. It seems like she's going around without a body. She has energy projection is a 6 because she has wide variety of energy projections in general, and her fighting skills is a 4 because she is a very good fighter, which is weird to think about because when you think of magic users in general, you don't necessarily think of them as like fighters, but because of how old she is, she's actually she's learned many styles of fighting. It's also weird to think about too, like Dracula is also a great hand-to-hand combat person, and it's like that's not something you think of with Dracula. It makes
Yeah.
sense, obviously. It's not like it doesn't make sense, but it's like one of those things where it's like that's not what I think of Dracula. That's not what I think of her, but at the same time, it's there. So I
Hmm.
thought that would be interesting to kind of bring a goddess of death into a character spotlight
Yeah, that was a
for
good one.
a Halloween season. But I also did not know that her backstory was unknown, which I think is kind of even better. It makes it just more crazier in general because like even gods and demons don't really know her that well. They know what she's done when they've known her, but other than that they don't know much about her.
Yeah, she's still a mystery, which is cool.
Correct. So that's going to be it for today. Next week we're going to be talking about any trailers that come out, the season finale of Gen V, and a character spotlight from Mike.
Yep.
Other than that, that's going to be it for the Black Eel podcast. No, sorry. No, I was right. Black eel. Oh, I thought I said beastly eel. Sorry.
I was like,
My
what just happened?
so that is the end of
Scott
the
is
Black.
glitching out.
Yeah. So that is the end of the Black Eel podcast. If you made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out. Have a good night. Bye bye.